Hi, and welcome to Straight Shot Radio. My name is Johnny Slick, and I'm the owner and head coach at Straight Shot Training. I have a bit of a strange request to make of you today if you were trying to lose weight, and that is, I want you to stop working out to burn calories. Seems strange, right? Because I always talk about the way to lose weight is caloric management. The way to gain weight or lose weight is caloric management. If you want to lose weight, you need to be burning more calories than you are taking in. If you want to gain weight, you need to be eating more calories than you are burning off. So then it seems strange for me to tell you to stop working out to burn calories, but I'm going to try to very concisely explain this concept to you because I think that it will make you a better athlete, a better mover. I feel like you're going to have less pain, you'll be more athletic, all of these things, and still help you lose weight. Whereas the way that you might be going at it now by working out to burn calories is it may help you lose weight, but it's not going to address all of the other components of your fitness that I'm equally concerned about as I am with your weight loss. So calorie management is how you lose weight. Whether you want to do this through keto or intermittent fasting or vegan or counting your calories, the diet, as long as you have some type of caloric deficit, you're going to lose weight. So let's not get into the different diets. That's whatever you're going to need here too. We talk about better and worse diets on different podcasts. But today I just want to assume that you are trying to lose weight and you are going to be trying some type of diet that's going to be creating a caloric deficit. Or maybe you're not going to try a diet and you're just going to try to burn more calories in the gym. Well, what seems to happen with a lot of people is that they go into the gym to burn calories and they're trying one of these diets, but they aren't counting their calories at all on the food end, and they're just trying to figure out how many can I burn in the gym, and then I'll just, I'll estimate how many calories I'm eating, or I'll just try to eat a little bit less. I'm telling you, it is much easier for me as a coach, and for all of the equations that I use to estimate your calories, it is much easier for me to estimate how many calories you will be burning in the gym than it is for me to estimate how much you're eating. Right? Because I have no clue. Are your portion sizes bigger or smaller than what you're telling me? If you're getting a packaged meal, it could vary greatly in how many calories it has in it, depending on the brand. But if you tell me, I ran for 20 minutes today, and I know you weigh 150 pounds, and I know that you have 23% body fat, and that your average heart rate for that workout for the 20 minutes was 160 beats per minute. I can tell you how many calories you burned. But if you just go off and eat and you're not counting your calories on the other end, then it doesn't really matter how many calories you burned on the treadmill because we haven't addressed the intake portion. You may be gaining weight by running on the treadmill and just trying to burn as many calories as you can. You get super hungry, you go home, and you eat. And it might even be your vegan diet that you're eating or your keto diet that you're following. You're eating those foods, but you're not monitoring your intake at all. So then it doesn't really matter what you burn in the gym if you don't have that balance in a negative for your calories in versus your calories out. You have to be in a caloric deficit. So that's for the people who are not tracking. For the people who are tracking, let's say you are counting your calories with whatever diet you choose to do. Or you have found a diet where you start to lose some weight, and so you know, okay, I must be in a caloric deficit because I'm starting to lose weight, and I'm eating, I'm using my hand to measure my portions. I'm eating a palm full of protein and 2 handfuls of vegetables, however you're measuring it. So we are actually now counting your calories or managing your portions somehow. So you do have that end taken care of. But then you still go in the gym and you're just trying to burn calories. The only thing you have to do to burn calories is get your heart rate up. Just be a body with an elevated heart rate in any type of environment. So this could be running or lifting weights or swimming or chopping wood. All of that is going to get your heart rate up, so it's going to burn calories. I can tell you how many calories you're burning based off of how much you weigh and how long you did the activity and what your heart rate was. So when we go into the gym and we just focus on burning calories, it's simple. You just get your heart rate up. But that is addressing only one portion of your fitness, your cardiovascular fitness or your cardiorespiratory fitness. You aren't addressing at all your mobility issues, or that might be causing you to have issues with movements that are causing you pain. You're walking around with joint pain, but you're burning a lot of calories. You haven't addressed your stability, which is also going to be one of those factors that determine whether or not you're being moving correctly. You're not addressing, are you progressing in your strength? So if your numbers aren't moving up, or if you're not adding repetitions or adding sets or adding some type of other factor of intensity or complexity to the lift, are you really getting anywhere? If you're using the same weight every time you come in and you're burning lots of calories, are you actually doing enough to maintain your muscle mass while you're losing weight? Or when you're burning all those calories, are you also going to be losing muscle mass and end up still with an undesirable body fat percentage when you're done your diet? Same thing in the gym. Are you addressing, if you are going for any type of athletic goal, are you addressing your agility and your speed and your power and your quickness and your accuracy? All these other things in the gym, and a lot of people do want to be more athletic, even if you're not an athlete. If you just want to be more well-rounded and you want to be able to do everyday activities without getting hurt, or let's say you're on your church's softball team and you want to get a little bit better at that, or you just want to have fun playing with your kids in the yard and you are tired of twisting your ankle or your knees hurting whenever you're outside running around. So those are the types of things that doing lateral movement and jumping drills and landing drills and all the things that are part of a well-rounded general physical preparedness program, like what I offer with Straight Shot and what a lot of other functional fitness gyms would offer you. So those are the things that I think are just as important as your body composition when it comes to your overall fitness. And those have nothing to do with burning calories. And when we only go into the gym with the goal of burning calories, we are missing out on all of the other things that make us more competent humans outside the gym from a physical standpoint. You should be able to lift something off the ground without hurting your back. You should be able to move side to side quickly without rolling your ankles. Okay, these are things that strength training and stability training and conditioning work with lateral drills and multiplanar movements where you're twisting and turning and landing and jumping, those types of things in a program are very important to me, way beyond just coming in to burn calories. But guess what? Doing all of those things burns a ton of calories. Strength training burns a lot more calories than we originally thought it did. If you have ever done any type of stability work, you see how much you're sweating and your heart rate gets elevated just holding the bottom of position of a squat or doing a tempo press. That's where you lower the weight very, very slow, then press it back up. These are extremely metabolic movements, especially if you're doing a functional fitness program where you're working your entire body and you're doing big movements like squats and presses and pulling in all directions and lunging and stepping and twisting. That burns a lot of calories because of the amount of muscle is being used for that activity, and your heart rate is up and you're moving for a given amount of time. And again, I can take your weight and your heart rate and how long you did something and estimate your calories. I can do that for you in the gym and get a pretty good estimate of what you're burning. I can't estimate what you're doing on the food end. So 2 things we need to think about here. If you are not counting your calories and you're trying to just estimate those, but you are counting what's in the gym, I would encourage you to flip those 2 things. Start counting your calories and let's estimate what you do in the gym. I promise it's going to work out better for you. And if it doesn't, at least you tried something and you tried to change something if you were stuck with where you're at. And a lot of people are stuck. A lot of people tell me they can't lose weight. But they always tell me, I don't know how I'm not losing weight. I burned 600 calories in this spin class. Well, what did you eat? That's normally like the crickets sound. Because it's, and I don't blame people, this is being sold to you. It's one of the biggest growing things in the fitness industry right now are these heart rate based classes. Because they're promising you will burn this many calories. That's great. That's awesome if you're trying to lose weight. However, if you are not addressing it from an intake standpoint, that doesn't matter. And also, these heart rate based classes, they're great for burning a lot of calories, but they aren't great for addressing all of the other components of your fitness that a more well-rounded program that's not just focused on having your heart rate up the entire time would be. There are some times, especially when I and my athletes are working with stability, where, yeah, we do burn less calories. And our heart rate isn't as elevated during our lifting workouts. But it is during our conditioning workouts and during our circuits, and it balances out. Not every time that you come into the gym needs to be this calorie furnace. Okay, you need to be addressing all of the things that are going to make you fitter. When it comes to my personal calories, I do know what I'm taking in. I do monitor my calories from an intake standpoint. When it comes to what I do in the gym, I estimate all of that year round. Anytime I change up my diet, I base it off of what am I currently doing. And the way we do this is with a total daily energy expenditure calculation. And it's a calculation that everyone who signs up for Straight Shot, even if you do a free month, you still get access to this calculator and you can figure out what your calories are based off of how much do you weigh, what's your body fat percentage, because we don't really care about maintaining excess weight in body fat. We care about maintaining your lean mass. So that's what we base your calories off of. Obviously, everybody needs to have a certain amount of body fat, but how many calories you take in is based not off of how much fat you have on you. It's based off of how much leanness you have. So everything that's not body fat, that's part of your body, muscles, connective tissue, bones, organs, all of that. So we take how much you weigh, then how much of that is lean weight, and we can multiply that times a factor to give us what you would burn if you did absolutely nothing. That's your basal metabolic rate. This means like you're just laying in a bed all day long. From there, we can multiply that times an activity factor, anywhere between, for most people, in between like 1.3 and 1.7 is kind of the average. And with that, we can figure out, we give you these different descriptions beside each number. So if you work a desk job and you work out 1 to 2 days a week and you are pretty sedentary, you're going to be on the low end of those activity factors. However, if you have a more active job like I do and you kind of move around nonstop, and like me doing this podcast is the longest time that I'll probably be sitting today, that means that my activity factor would be much higher. And then we have those that give you a whole bunch of other stuff to help you figure out your macros, your carbs, fats, and your proteins. But we won't worry about those right now. But you have that number, which is your TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. It's actually, you could add another E because it's an estimation. So with that estimation, you can just assume that over the course of the week, on a daily basis, that's the average that you'll be burning. It's going to look different every day. You can even eat the same thing every day. Just over the course of the week, you're either going to be in a deficit or a surplus, or you're going to be in a maintenance area. If you think you're in maintenance and you start losing weight, you're actually in a deficit. If you think you're in maintenance and you're gaining weight, then you're actually in a surplus. If you're trying to gain weight but you're losing weight, you're not in a surplus. If you're trying to lose weight but you're gaining weight, you're not in a deficit. So there is a little bit of trial and error, but once you get that figured out and you know what your activity factor is and you're honest with yourself about the setup of those calories, because that is super important. I always ask people like 5 different ways of how active they think they are, so I can really get a good idea of how many calories are actually burning. That estimation is all you need. You don't need a fancy watch. You don't need to go to a class that's going to show you how many calories you're burning up on a giant TV screen. You don't need to be so concerned about, there are people who come to my classes who do jumping jacks when I'm trying to explain a movement because they want to keep their heart rate up. I'm trying to explain a movement to you because I'm more concerned with the articulation of your shoulder during this movement and how you add maybe an element of hip drive to shoulder flexion and external rotation in a kettlebell snatch. I want to teach you that so I can teach you how to effectively move a weight from your hips to overhead. And you're just too concerned about burning calories to address another equally important component of your fitness. You're just trying to keep your heart rate up. And so that's why I'm asking you, stop working out to burn calories. Even if it's just to try it for a little bit and see what happens. Because a lot of you are doing these activities just to try to get your heart rate up, and you're not seeing the results you want. But if you address your total fitness and you dial in a little bit more your intake, you will start to see the results that you were going for when you were chasing something else. And I know it sometimes seems counterintuitive, but a lot of times stuff that doesn't make sense makes sense when you give it a shot. Just because I know what I'm saying, and I feel like I run into this a lot, where what I'm saying makes sense, but it's not as popular because this requires work. This requires you to sit down and do that equation, or contact me, I'll do it for you. I have a spreadsheet, I can do it really quick. Just give me your body fat and give me your weight. But it requires you to reach out to a trainer, or it requires you to do it on your own. It requires you to measure your food or figure out some way of monitoring your caloric intake. It's hard. It's actually harder than working out. Going to a gym and getting really sweaty and getting your heart rate up is the easy part for a lot of people because it's fun. And these classes are fun. I don't want to discourage anyone from working out. I just want you to start looking things a little bit differently. And I don't want you to stop going to your classes that you like, because the longer I'm coaching, the less critical I am of just about every type of working out that people do, because I think all of it's great. What I am more critical of is the way that these businesses can latch on to a popular thing and sell you on something that a lot of these coaches know isn't the best way for you to make these gains. And I'm always wanting to be careful of that as both a coach and a business owner. I always really want to be careful about finding something that someone would buy versus making something that I know works. So when I'm asking you to stop working out to burn calories, it's not because I want to sell you something. It's I genuinely want you to have these results that you are looking for. And I know you're frustrated because I see this every day with the people that I work with. And I'm trying to help you get the results you want while also addressing all of these things that I know you need as a coach and someone who works with people who deal with joint pain and who aren't able to play with their kids the way they want to, and want to be able to go up and down the stairs and not have to move into a one-floor house in their late 70s because they like the house they're in and they want to be able to get around it. I mean, I have seen so many different situations where people come to me and we learn together that there are so many more things than burning calories and weight loss and all of the stuff that is marketed to you of why you need a gym membership. And I'm glad it gets a lot of people in the door, but at the end of the day, I want you to feel good. I want you to be pain-free. I want you to move well. And as a result of that, you will get the aesthetic goal that you're looking after. You will probably get that if you manage it from a caloric intake standpoint. But this whole focus on burning calories in the gym, I don't think is helpful for you. I think it's more helpful for business, or maybe it's just popular. I don't want to get into all of that. I just want to help you. So if you can reach out to me, if you'd like to, my email is Johnny, Jonny, @straightshottraining.com. You can also message me on Instagram @straightshottraining. You can find me on Twitter. It's @straightshot_MD. Facebook, Straight Shot Training, TikTok, Straight Shot Train, Snapchat, Straight Shot _17, wherever you want to get a hold of me. I would love to help you out. If this is confusing, I know I threw a lot of numbers at you earlier with that equation. If you want me to do that equation for you, I can do that. It's just you're going to have to give me some numbers. If you would like to have the equation for yourself, if you sign up for a free month of Straight Shot Training at straightshottraining.com, just click on free month or click on the Get Started button at the bottom. When you sign up for a free month of Straight Shot, in the welcome email that you get, there's a link to this nutrition page with that entire equation on it. And you can just do that equation with your free month. And I would love for you to try out the program, of course, because it does address all these things I'm talking about. But if you just want that equation, sign up for a free month right there. You don't have to pay anything for it. So hopefully this gives you some more inspiration to maybe start addressing some of the things from an intake standpoint and start looking in a little more broad terms when it comes to what the gym is there for and all the amazing things that your body's able to do, and trying to improve all of those things, not just how high your heart rate is or how fast you're moving. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you all have a great week of workouts.